Right. So yeah, I mean, we're going to get a little bit more into Twitter now. In the Facebook group, I have been talking a lot about Twitter and just trying to help people out. I mean, this is also just more groundbreaking stuff that we're presenting here, because me and Marco, we've been talking so much about different concepts, and we just realized like no one really talks about Twitter SEO, and just how you can optimize it further for all your properties, and particularly theming. And that's really what this is all about. But I think everyone enjoyed seeing that image that I shared the other day in it. So let's just go, here's Michael, and let's just show that image again. So this guy here, Michael, hopefully, I don't know, are you guys able to see my image there or not? Maybe not.
All I'm seeing is your Twitter header and the first tweet.
Yeah.
First tweet.
Oh, bugger. Okay, well, everyone would have seen that screenshot from Majestic. I mean, I can actually just show you again. I just love that. It just makes you feel good inside when you see that kind of stuff.
All warm and fuzzy.
Yeah, that's it. There we go. So
look at the top. Look at the topical trust flow, man. That's what I want people to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for 7 referring domains. That's insane. You know?
And I didn't even use Hernan's special ninja tricks on this one. And yeah, I mean, so the guys have already seen. I mean, we're breaking rules here, where when people will look at this when they go into their Majestic site, and you'll go down and you'll have a look at the backlinks that I'm getting, and that was all natural. I didn't ask for those. That just happened because of what I was doing with Twitter, and people were just linking to me. But if you actually look, I mean, so we're seeing like a topical trust flow there, 47, and look at the trust flow that's been sent to me, 0, 28, 4, 2, 0, 3, 0. So nothing there has got massive trust flow that you might, when you're trying to backlink profile me and think, how the hell did I get 47 there? I mean, I don't know if anyone else talking about that, how you can break trust flow rules in Majestic like that. It's just it's just going to confuse your competitors if they try to look at that. But that's why we want to talk more about Twitter SEO now. So I just want to go back onto the slide so I make sure I'm on the right spot here for everyone. So yeah, we're going to be talking about how to optimize the account, the profile page, image, all of that case. So let me just go back to my Twitter account. So here's Briggs. He's the ultimate spammer in the world. Love this guy. Up to 12,500 tweets so far. And I had to calm him down a bit. But so what I suggest, the real basics is when you do your Twitter account is just make sure you got the profile image there, which hopefully everyone does and doesn't have the egg. Then also the background image over here. So that's just a generic image there. I mean, you'll see if you really get deeper into your branding, just remember that you'll have 2 different size images. So you might upload an image, but this is the desktop view. Then you'll have the mobile view too. So if someone's looking at your profile through their phone, they're going to see a different image where it's sized down. So so what you might want there is like call to actions or maybe a telephone number in the header, and you want it centered over in the middle of your header so that it will also be shown to people who look at your profile on a mobile phone. So that's just something else to think about, optimizing your header both for desktop view and for mobile phone view, or when people are on an app. So that's 2 basics there with your images. And Twitter actually says, a part of trying to get out the sandbox, that you have to have those 2 points. You also want to verify the email that you use to sign up the account with. That's another important thing to set up. And then the next thing here is down in this section over here. So Michael hasn't got the best optimized description as yet. Probably a better example here is going to be RYS Academy. So let me just show you here if I go into RYS. So you see what I did with RYS Academy is the first line here is actually the website link. So here's another place to get a link. on Twitter. So you got the normal spot where you can put your website, but actually put your website up here. That's another important one, I think. So it also means it's just easier for a user to then click on your website. They might not sometimes see that too easily, so it's right there in your face. And also it means that it's on the profile pictures. So if I show you here, if I look for R1S Academy, without actually going onto it, you'll see if I go to accounts, here it is. There's the link. So it's much easier again, and it's just now on this actual search page. Here's the link to the website too. It's all over Twitter within the description area. So it's highlighting the website link. So that's my one optimization tip, is just to make sure that you actually try to get your website that you want here, or the URL that you're wanting. Then I just mix up the keywords. So like I've got the branding, the SEO time machine. I've got a link to Semantic Mastery too, so you can interlink to other accounts, to other Twitter accounts, just by simply going the @ sign into whoever you want. So I'm theming it again. We're talking about trust flow, and then you want to be putting relevant hashtags in there too. So because those are all searchable hashtags within your description. So I'm just teaching Twitter that R1S Academy is about SEO, and about particularly R1S Academy as this hashtag. And what we talked about in the Facebook group is that your hashtags are indexed and can rank too. So that's what I like to do, is make sure that my relevant hashtags are also within my description that I'm ranking for, and that does work. So if you end up searching for hashtags up here in the search area again of Twitter, this time I'm going to actually search for R1S Academy hashtag, and it's going to show me I'm the only account that uses that hashtag, and that's why it's showing me in that particular one there too. So that would be another important point.
Let me ask you a question, if you don't mind. I mean, you might be covering this, and if you are, just say you're covering it in a bit. But
okay,
like for the SEO hashtag, that would be a good opportunity to search SEO hashtag and then see all of the other accounts and then follow those people, right, for increasing topical relevance. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. So that would come under the followers section that's
coming up.
Yeah. So
okay, sorry about that.
No, that's fine. It's good to remind me, because there's so much you can do. So I've done header, profile image, description. We've talked a bit about there. So, and just try to fill it out and make it. Yeah, you've only got so many characters, but you want to try and mix it up. So you want to use exact match. You want to use long tails. You want to use semantically relevant keywords in there, and make it readable for someone, particularly for a branded site. For personas that you're using for spamming, just do what you want. But for a branded one, definitely do that. And that's why, like with Briggs, I converted him into an online reputation management consultant who's interested in local SEO about various businesses and that, and just made him so real, because what's ended up happening from this. So when it comes on to trying to get yourself out the sandbox, what's ended up happening is people interact with me, and they think it makes me laugh how people, try to have a conversation with me. So if I look at notifications now, I've already it doesn't stop. It happens all the time. But let's have a look here. So automatic followers, people favoriting my tweets all the time. Here, I have people talk to me directly on Twitter, asking me about stuff. So they're engaging with my Twitter account, and because they can read my profile and they see my picture, and it's all related to the tweets that I'm sending out, and the people that I'm retweeting. I'm retweeting people who are related to what I'm theming my account about. So then they want to talk to me about certain stuff. So that's another reason why I like to fill out this description properly there with the hashtags too, because someone who's using Twitter understands what hashtags are too. But then that's like a currency for Twitter. Twitter runs on these hashtags. It uses that as its own semantic sort of data points to help itself. So I think I've covered the description pretty much in full there, where you can use @ to link to other Twitter accounts, your own websites, the hashtags, loads of keywords, relevant terms in there. And then, yeah, when it comes to the followers, like you said, Bradley, it's using hashtags. So like ORM, let me just click on that. It's easier to do that. So I could just have a look here. And then within Twitter search, it gives me a whole bunch of options. And if I go to accounts, then yeah, then I can just have a look straight away. So this is who Twitter recommends that maybe I should follow related to that hashtag ORM, which people on Twitter use it for, particularly for online reputation management. So here's a guy. Apparently he's voted #1 reputation repair consultant in America. So I could end up following him and just run through this and just follow people. So then all my followers that I start off with aren't just 40 celebrities that Twitter says I should start following. I do that and then I just delete all of them. What I do is then I go here and I start following relevant people just to begin with to help with my theming. It also means that I might automatically get some automatic follow-backs, or people will see it naturally down the line. And that's a great way to find people who you should be following, is actually use those hashtags or just the words themselves. So like online reputation management. And there you go. Well, as you can see, I'm one of the top people for online reputation management on Twitter. I just keep tweeting about it.
That's awesome, man. I like that.
Yeah, so that's why I say Briggs is a machine. Yeah, and then here's just some more accounts again. Just helps me find people. So this is just using. So you can use Twitter search just like you use Google search. You have simple search and then you have advanced search. And in the IFTTT recipes, I add some advanced search parameter search terms, and that's how you refine things. But this is just a really quick way to find people to follow and even to tweet and to engage with. So if I just look there, so that we've talked about followers, you can also create lists of people. That's another way to get to sort of have people try maybe follow you or engage with your tweets, and it happens all the time with Briggs. You'll see he's added to lists all the time here. So like Todd here just added me to the SEM list of his. Yeah, I mean, I just more people talking to me, favoriting me, retweeting me all the time, more lists.
Hey, Gary.
Yeah.
Let me stop you for a second, right? Can you go back and show how many people you're following and how many followers you have?
Okay.
Just so I can drive a point home.
There we go.
So 139 following you, and you're following 121.
Yeah.
Correct? But it's all of the interaction that's taking place with your tweets, like I spoke about before. Everything that's taking place with your hashtags and everything that you're writing about, that's giving Dr. Michael Briggs all of this power, all of this trust flow, all of this topical trust flow, because the 7 or 8 links that you have does not account for 47 trust flow.
Yeah, and that's where we've discussed where all this other trust flow is coming from, is because this account now is becoming so powerful. And those links that you'll find in Majestic, they happened. I didn't even ask for those. It's because if you go through those links, it's because people were embedding my tweets or my Twitter URLs into websites. So that all happened automatically because I just have this retweet script running all the time. So I'm just retweeting other people in online reputation management, and they love it that I'm promoting them. And then I guess because they're also part of online reputation management, they've got websites and they've got blogs and they've got other things, and then there's bots out there that embed things all the time, as we know with YouTube videos. So this, you can just get some juicy free backlinks, and you'll never know where they come from. But if you just leave the script running, and yeah, I mean, Briggs was a little bit more difficult to try get out the sandbox, but you'll see ROIS Academy. I love this one. Just how quickly I got this out of any trouble. So, I mean, here, yeah, we got 119 following, 84 followers, and that's completely out the sandbox. Let me see if am I going to talk about sandboxing right now. Yep, that's coming up next, getting out the sandbox. So my two examples would be Briggs and RYS Academy. So Briggs, let me go back to him. So originally when I started, you know, he was just like happy RYS that I show in the videos, in the course videos, where I was just tweeting my Google property URLs and just pushing them out there into my IFTTT network, and that's when I came across that my tweets weren't actually indexing within Twitter's own search. So if I then search for keywords in the tweets or hashtags with the tweets, they weren't actually showing up with Twitter. And then what I did to fix that was, after reading the support tickets which I've shared, Twitter says that it wants to see, before it actually sort of trusts you for relevancy, that you're engaging with other people on Twitter. And that's what I did. So I just created that recipe which I've shared with everyone, and that's just been running. So if I have a look here, yeah, if this is on my dashboard of IFTTT, that's run 11,728 times so far, that particular recipe. And that was it. That's all I needed to do. So all I did was say, well, I can just let it run, tweet it out, spam it out, and people just loved it. I'm tweaking things a little bit at the moment just to test engagement now, what people enjoy more, and they still enjoy this look. But that's all it took, was just for me to say, I'm retweeting this person and here's their tweet, and just let that run. And that was the thing. You wake up in the morning and you'll see your notification bar up here, and it will just be chock-a-block full of things, because people will then start favoriting you, adding you to lists. People just start automatically following you. People might say, "Hey, thanks for retweeting me. That's great. Like, this person, you know, thanks for sharing." That's a perfect opportunity for me to then just, you know, click on there and just reply to that guy and say, "Hey, no problem. You know, thanks for sharing such great tips and awesome tips," or whatever else. And I'm fulfilling one of the criteria, because you know, with Twitter Sandbox, it's just an algo. It's not a manual sandbox. It's just you're trying to get Twitter's machine to say, no, this account's cool, it's fine. Because once you're unlocked, then you can just spam away. It doesn't block you thereafter, and that's what I've seen with other spammy Twitter accounts. It's not selective per tweets to begin with. You can just keep tweeting away once you're out that sandbox. So this is just a way that I created. I drew engagement to me instead of me going towards others to try and engage them. And I just used my recipe to do that automatically for me, and that got me out the sandbox. So yeah, now with Briggs, I can search any of these, and they'll all be in the Twitter Zone search index. Then with RYS, I took a completely different approach. So because with Briggs, I'd already been playing with him and doing stuff with his account, so I didn't try this route. But with RYS, let me go on to that one. I decided to actually try a completely different approach. So you see, it's only had 16 tweets now, but I think I was out of sandbox probably, maybe even by the second tweet potentially. I think with this one, because of who I tweeted. So what I did here was do the proper Twitter SEO, what I'm recommending. So I had a relevant profile picture. I just put a header there. I filled out the description and everything, like as you can see over here. And then what I made sure was that my very first tweet wasn't to an external link. So, and what you'll find with Twitter is it loves images and it loves videos from trusted sources like YouTube. So it's not a problem if you tweet out a YouTube link, because Twitter trusts YouTube, and Twitter doesn't mind images. And also Twitter doesn't mind trusted news sources too. So it's like CNN.com or USA Today links. It will push those. It will index your tweets when you use those guys. So what I did here was just to make sure that I didn't sort of trip any deeper spam algo with Twitter. I decided to see what would happen. So I just tweeted out the image here to start with, and then my second tweet. Let me go into here. I believe it was how I think I got out quicker. So yeah, so that was August 9th. August 10th, I just replied to a conversation that Chris Ducker, who's friends with Pat Flynn, was just talking about his favorite cup of coffee. So I just replied because I actually knew, because I do read some of Pat's stuff, that he likes this particular coffee, which is called Bulletproof coffee. So I knew I was trying to get Chris or Pat to engage with my tweet, and it did happen. So I tweeted them saying about that, and then what happened was that there's the original tweet that Chris sent out. So I was on his profile. I just went to the reply button, and I replied with that. And then what happened was that Pat Flynn then used my name as the first @ and Chris, and talking about it. And then even Chris replied to me with the @ and Pat. So then this is what you'll see in the search results now. So I'm just going to take this here, go across to Google. And this isn't the reason why I think I got out the sandbox so quickly. One, because it's Pat Flynn, and his Twitter account is trusted so much within Twitter and Google, but particularly within Twitter. And then two, as you can see, Pat's tweets get indexed really quickly, and even Brad is is in there. And Authority Hacker too. That was another one I engaged with. And then this was my third engagement, was with a discussion with Rand Fish from Moz.com. So I engaged with other big brand SEOs, and they engaged back with me through Twitter. So that's me engaging with others without sending a single external link to RYS Academy or to anywhere else. It's just me as a normal person talking on Twitter and using images. And I think Twitter love that, and it gets you out the sandbox super quickly. So this is a very manual way of doing it, was just talking to relevant people, and particularly high authority people, using images and no external links anywhere. And then what happened was, yeah, just more images over here, talking to relevant people. And then eventually what happened was I did try tweet out to, I think, here, yeah. And yeah, that was me out of sandbox. So now even my Aweber and anything else will work. So within a couple of tweets and I was out of the sandbox. But that would be my other tip to try get out of sandbox manually, is just engage with people. You got to think that's how real people use Twitter, is they want to follow relevant people, so within their industry, and Twitter wants you to talk with other people through tweets. So don't just push your message out. Actually reply to people's questions or answers or suggestions, and then they'll retweet you back. So that's how you get mentions back to you. And then again, you got to think that their own Twitter URL up here is being indexed. So the tweets that reply, and your name is included on those pages. So. And that's why I think, particularly if you're on a high authority Twitter site, and I was on Pat Flynn's site with my link back to RYS Academy, and it's just another way of building trust in my own Twitter account through Pat or through Moz or other guys, because they replied to me. So that would be my sort of.
I got a question for you, Gary. This has been asked now a couple times. Rick Stubblebean and Carrie Duke both ask, how is Gary getting the Twitter account links in his retweets? The default recipe does not include the @ symbol.
Okay, that's the new one I'm playing with. So on Briggs. Okay. So if I go back here, yeah. So the recipe I shared with everyone, that was the original recipe that I probably sent the first 9,500 tweets out with, and that's what got me out the sandbox. Now this is me in the lab again. I'm just playing around with stuff. So what I wanted to, because what happens with IFTTT is that you're not allowed to use the @ with the username. It strips it out. So you would just have RT space and then the username, but without the @ sign, so it's not linkable. And IFTTT told me it's because of the TOS from Twitter that they're not allowed to do that, so they have to strip it out. But what you can do is actually just have the person's full address here. So, and that's another what I was testing there is because if you just have their name that's not clickable, they might not notice it in their notifications. But if I actually have their full Twitter account, then that like Cat Ray knows that I've linked out to them. And also I've done it here with the with embedding the actual tweet. So I can share that with everyone right now. I'll just go onto that account, into that recipe so you can see. And I'll go, so let me just see, where is that one? Link to tweet. And then text. Yep, that was it. So all I did, if you guys want to do it, you can go change it or add another recipe. Is just do RT under tweet text here. And then you go to little beaker, go down to link to tweet, choose that one, which is that's what you can see, and then I just had a space, and then I just did text, and that's it. And then your tweets will pop up like that.
If you wouldn't mind, Gary, publish that recipe.
Okay.
You know, and then drop the link, or just put it in your notes or something, and we'll put it inside the membership site for everyone.
All right. That's no problem. Yeah, sorry guys. It's just I'm chronically testing stuff, so I tweak things all the time. And I'm just trying to get more. I know my original recipe got me engagement and plenty of it. This is me just trying to see if I get even more engagement. So I'm just playing around with stuff. Cool. So that's my two particular tips for getting out the sandbox. So the automated method and the manual method, and it's nice to see in the Facebook group that guys have been able to use the automated method to get other accounts out. So sometimes you'll find, sure, you may be retweeting other people and they're favoriting you or adding you to lists, but you might not be getting out yet. And it might just take a couple simple replies from yourself to other people's tweets when they mention you, like I showed you, when someone might say to me, oh, thanks for retweeting, and I just have to reply to them and say, no problems, and that's it. You know, that might flick the switch and you're out the sandbox.
Very cool.
Yeah. It's not perfect. Like at the moment, I'm playing with a particular account that's having a few more problems, so I'm just trying to, if I can get a certain protocol in place, I'll let everyone know, but it's a little bit hit and miss at this stage. But I'd say the easiest method is just run the recipe. It creates loads of engagement. You're theming your account all for free. You know, this is like curated content where I'm just using other people's tweets to theme my own account.
Right.
So, and it's free and it runs, and you know, plenty of it.
Very cool.
I don't have to come up with content about online reputation management. All these other guys are doing it for me.
That's awesome.
So that's the auto. The hashtag optimization. So hashtag optimization is, so we know, again, what I mentioned earlier is how hashtags are a major currency for Twitter. You know, Twitter needs that data. It loves seeing hashtags to tie everything together. And that's where we were talking about when you're pushing stuff out, how you could use the hashtag. So I know there was a question originally about how I shared the recipe and it had hashtag IFTTT in it. And I just did that because it was the easiest thing to do, and everyone knows what it is, but you can change that. And that's why I mentioned in the group post, if anyone did see it, where you know there's different ways of using that hashtag. The one way is if you just went with IFTTT, it's you're hiding your tweets in a way if you wanted to, for whatever reason, because so many people use that hashtag. So you could hide certain tweets using it that way. But ideally what you want to be doing is creating that trust flow relevancy. So tweeting, you know, always tweeting that hashtag out means that when people search that hashtag in Twitter, Twitter thinks you're an authority related to that hashtag. And I did see someone in the group who said they found that where they just used their keyword in the hashtag, and they were already ranking on page 2, their Twitter profile, just because they kept pushing out tweets related to that hashtag. And I think it makes complete sense. So if you're a brand, say we used Moz again, why wouldn't you hashtag Moz all the time? Because that's your brand. So then you should be the authority when anyone searches on Twitter about Moz or hashtag Moz, because you tweet about it all the time. And then again, because we know that hashtag URLs are indexable and appear in Google SERPs, it means that you're dominating that page. So to me, it's like thinking about it like a YouTube watch page or a YouTube playlist page, but now all your tweets are on that page, and you just did that because you're tweeting that hashtag all the time. So you dominate that keyword. So it's a way that you're pushing relevancy, which is what we're trust, either to your brand or to a particular keyword. So your Twitter account is becoming super relevant because you keep talking about the same thing over and over and over. So that was my my optimization tip, is think about your hashtags a little bit deeper there, and that's why I did this in the description area. So when you're tweeting too, that you ideally want to be tweeting the hashtags that you want to theme your account for. And and that's the beauty with the recipes too, is that I'm using, when other people say tweet about ORM or online reputation management. I think actually with this recipe I've got it just as online reputation management. So those keywords are all over my Briggs account, online reputation management, because I just keep, someone else just keeps favoriting me. It just happens all the time with this recipe, but those words are just all over my account because I'm just retweeting other people all the time who are talking about that, and I'm using that keyword as a trigger. And that's what I'm saying, free curated content about that keyword. And there's no duplicate content or keyword density issue in Twitter itself. You can just keep doing that over and over and over because that's how it works in Twitter. So hopefully I haven't made that too confusing with the hashtag. Just keep me on the straight and narrow here, guys. If I go a little bit wide.
Keep it on the rails, Gary.
It's a bit like Marco's spider silo. There's so many ways this water can run.
Yeah.
Let me just go back here. So yeah, I was talking about that hashtag optimization for pushing trust flow. Your keywords and branding, and then clickbait and follower bait. So what Marco mentioned earlier about that Twitter army, so now with Briggs, for example, because of the people that I'm following and also the people that I'm retweeting all the time, they end up following me. So I'm getting a lot of people in the industry of search engine optimization or local SEO or search engine marketing or online reputation management, all following me back, and they're engaging with my tweets. So just to show you, this is something I don't know if guys are using to their full advantage yet, but I'm going to go into the ads section of Twitter now, just to show you some of the stats. So you can see the ads section, the ads page now.
Yes.
So what I'm on is ads.com, ads.twitter.com, and so I'm logged into my Michael Briggs account, and this is his ads account within Twitter. It's free to use. There's no cost to using this. You'll find with a brand new account you can't access this straight away. You have to do some tweeting and just build up a little bit of cred within Twitter, and then it unlocks the ads option for you. So I haven't run any ads through Michael, but the beauty with this is the ads section gives you tons of data. So as you can see here, in the last 28 days, I've sent out 6,400 tweets. You can see sort of a graph going on, what's happening there. My tweet impressions is an upward trend. People are visiting my profile, 1,471 views to my profile. People are mentioning me by first name, so @mbriggs. My follower count, it's steadily going up. People linking to my tweets. It just gives you a whole bunch of information in here. So it's just a nice way to see that, yeah, you know, the people that I'm retweeting automatically are engaging with my tweets. You know, so this is not fake buying tweets where no one engages with your tweets. This is natural. This is just happening automatically without me doing anything. And that's the beauty of this. That's the Twitter army happening live on this account. You know, so I'm getting relevant followers actually then reading my tweets or clicking on links in my tweets. And that's what Twitter wants to see, and that's also what pushes trust and relevancy. And you know, and I'm sure Google and we know Twitter, because Twitter's giving all the data, is picking up these signals and going, yeah, you know, this, you know, people are actually socially engaging here with this author, and that's how Briggs is also then automatically building up his author rep and his we talked about before in the mastermind, where Google's using that as a ranking factor.
Author rank.
That's it, yeah. So, you know, this is the way I'm using Twitter to develop author rank outside of the Google profile initially. But, you know, Google loves Twitter, as we know, and it's using it more and more to gather data from. And this is, again, this is how I'm building up my sort of author profile using that. So this is a great place, guys. I would recommend just for free go into ads.twitter.com and just check out what's happening with your account, and you can see the changes that are happening month by month. So how it's slowly going up or down, or what's happening. So yeah, back in May 2015 was when Briggs was born, and how he's just suddenly, when I've just added in the recipes, it just boomed, and yeah, just loads of people start engaging with me.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So that's clickbait and follower bait, just all done with theme people. And then, yeah, the trust flow manipulation without SAPE. So that was the Briggs account that we showed earlier with the Majestic. So this trust flow 47 here, to also try explain some of that how I'm getting a trust flow of 47, but you can see my backlink profile doesn't show that, is because I got the natural backlinks there, but because also now what's happening with Briggs, where people are engaging with him and higher authorities, and then we know that all these accounts, so each Twitter profile has its own majestic view, its own majestic trust flow, and you know, my tweets are getting mentioned on other people's pages too, and then also the power here is because even though these are all no follow links, have a look at, you know, even say something like here on the blogspot. So this is why I like using the IFTTT. So here's my embedded tweets in iframes. You know, and these, as you can see, these are all follow links. There's nothing no follow over here in the iframe, and that's through blogspot.com. So yeah, there's just loads of ways that I'm building up trust. And Marco, do you want to maybe also just jump in and just explain trust flow stacking?
Yeah, I mean, it can't get any easier than just, as I said before, as long as you're keeping it clean, to take your tweet URL and your I'm sorry, the other URL, your status, to take those, shorten them, and then to shoot them through your tier 1 IFTTT syndication network. I mean, for those of you who are Semantic Mastery members and you've been through our IFTTT SEO Academy, you already have your tier 1s, and you already have your stacked accounts and your stacked syndication networks. Then, I mean, the thing that you can do now is you take your Twitter and you make that a trigger, and you're triggering all of your profiles in tier 1 through Twitter, so that everything, now that you're, imagine 12,000 tweets and counting, right? All of those being embedded, or embedding that feed, that Twitter feed, into, you know, wherever you can add one, and I know there's quite a few. I think Tumblr, and Bradley, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Tumblr allows you to add Twitter.
You mean you can? Well, if you can feed through IFTTT to Twitter or to Tumblr, then yeah.
No, but I'm saying you can actually add the feed inside there. I think there's a widget. I forget what it's called, and I'm pretty sure that Blogspot or Blogger has one also.
Yeah, I know, and WordPress too.
Yeah, WordPress has it.
Yeah.
So anywhere that you can, you add your own stuff. And then what you're also doing is you're keeping everything relevant, you're keeping everything fresh. Every time the spider comes in, there's new content. So you're adding tons of value to your properties. If you're out at Tier 2, Tier 3, and you're doing this, then you're doing something that nobody else is doing, and it looks absolutely like a property that stands on its own, right? Because it would have an IFTTT network and is getting fresh content and is being updated regularly, which is all the bot is looking for. And so you're keeping Google at bay, you're keeping them away. It's another way to keep from getting tagged, right? And at the same time, you're building trust flow, and since all your properties are themed, you're building that topical trust flow, and it all comes back to your website. A lot of you are asking, well, how do I rank my website? Make Twitter a trigger.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, guys. Think about that. By embedding like a Twitter widget, for example, and like let's just take PBNs for example, guys. Embedding a Twitter widget in the sidebar of a PBN site and setting up auto triggers, retweets and retweet recipes and stuff like what Gary's showing here, with relevant content, topically relevant content. Like Marco just said, every time a bot comes to crawl that site, it's going to see fresh content because it's going to be the tweets that are showing in the widget that are all about relevant, topically relevant content. Does that make sense? So, I mean, the possibilities of using these auto triggers, these auto retweet recipes that Gary has been working on, it's like he said, there's so many different ways that the water can run, So you guys can use that to your advantage and increase that topical trust flow on all types of properties, not just your Twitter profile itself.
And you also have to keep in mind that we don't have the final say in this, because this is all new stuff. Nobody, if you look it up, go look for Twitter SEO, go look for somebody else teaching it how to do this, how to do all of these automated recipes where you only go and you customize and then you let it run, and it runs on its own. I mean, how many people are doing it right now? So you're getting out ahead of everyone else, and you just stay ahead, man. You hit the ground running and you keep running so they can't catch you.
All right, what's next?
Cool. Yeah, we're going to talk about a couple other safety features for people to consider when playing with Google in ROIS Academy.